Trinidad 2025.
Jacko, you know, for call yourself a promoter. Oh, you say 5 months you make pass and you know make the man get him money.
Promoter for the Trinidad show. Remember years me know you.
5 months you make pass and you know make the man get him money. And in your mind, you feel there's some friend thing and some knowing thing are going on.
A lot of you fuckers are gonna turn around and say that Bounty only locked down the place because he advertised other artists that was going to perform from the Alliance.
Welcome, it's not radio, it's Levels with Kshema. And before we get tonight, you know the shreps, big up to the Levels community. Thank you to our new subscribers. And if it's your first time checking in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. Be a part of the Levels community. So, you know, we've been covering the aftermath of the unfortunate fallout with Vybz Kartel and One Caribbean Music Festival organizer Jacko. Now, we're going to look at this exclusive interview with ET&T and ordained Jacko Anderson of Jacko Entertainment, promoters of the One Caribbean Music Festival that is at the center of a financial probe by Trinidadian authorities. So we see where the interview kicked off with the first question. What exactly happened on the night of May 31st, 2025? Why didn't the advertised headline acts perform? Jacko responded, what happened was deeply disappointing for the fans, for our team, and for me personally. Despite all our efforts, several headlining acts pulled out at the last minute. Chronic Law and his team were the only international act who honored their agreements and performed, despite not being paid in full before hitting the stage. I want to publicly thank them for their professionalism and commitment. Once the news broke that Vybz Kartel would not perform, it triggered a domino effect that led to the withdrawal of others, including Sizzla Kalonji, Malidon, Roshan, and Molly. We understand the frustration this caused and sincerely apologize to all affected. When asked why didn't Vybz Kartel Adidja Palmer perform, Jacko said, Adidja Palmer is someone I grew up with in Portmore, Jamaica.
Promoter for the Trinidad show. Remember years me know you. Remember when you forward initially for the show. My lawyer was there. My manager was there. Remember the signing was recorded. Because I remember your ball. And I say, TJ, me know him long time. Give him a blind.
We were like brothers. This was personal to me. He was contracted for $1.35 million US, and to date, $950,000 US was paid directly to his management, with another $150,000 US paid to his legal counsel. Earlier in the week, we were asked to push his flight to Friday, and we did. We even had a private jet on standby all day Saturday. We rolled out the red carpet for him, to say the least. However, due to local banking laws and foreign exchange forex constraints, we were unable to provide the remaining balance in the format requested by his team. The funds were secured, but legal limits on large cash withdrawals made it impossible to complete the transaction as they wanted. Despite our best efforts to resolve this, we only learned with the rest of the public through the CNC3 media report that KARTEL would no longer perform. Interestingly, Madsus did a live, when this whole saga started and called out Jacko for not doing business correctly. In fact, Sus also revealed that Jacko been very persistent to get KARTEL for this performance in Trinidad even before they were released from prison. Check the levels.
Jacko, you know, for call yourself a promoter. You understand what I say? Because from December, January, February, March, April, you have up on 5 months. Or you say 5 months you make pass and you know make the man get him money. When him forget. And in your mind, you feel there's some friend thing and some knowing thing are going on. You see me, because I remember the first time you call my phone. And I say, yo, you want a link? Them time they won't even come a road yet. And I say, yo, ready this, yo. I say, my dad, and that another time, they know. When we come home, we will deal with that. Yeah, kill up yourself, right there. Yo, I say, my dad, you will get your show. The show, you will get it. Just have your money. And just no sign of normal money you will pay. You will get your show. Yo, tell you, I'm ready now. I have money, I have the money. The biggest stuff, start them. You get the opportunity for be the first promoter to get Vybz Kartel in Trinidad. And that show you would have been the biggest show in a Caribbean, you know. That show you know. If you just met the man getting money, you know.
Whoa. I guess this explains why KARTEL revealed on a past interview with Rubber Ranks that Trinidad was supposed to be his first performance after being released. In case you missed it or don't recall, here is KARTEL confirming that he's booked to perform in Trinidad. Check the levels.
So the top DJ, they know that the contract signed. Yeah. Trinidad, 2025.
I think the person who signed right there is actually Jacko. And, you can see that all parties are excited. So it's just really unfortunate to where millions in US dollars have been lost and apparently a friendship mashup, credibility mashup. Some patrons losing their money and robbed of an experience they paid for. Anyway, continuing with the Jacko interview. So right there you see where the interviewer say, so KARTEL was paid most of his fee. Why couldn't the balance be sorted? And you see Jacko respond and say, Trinidad and Tobago has strict regulations on how foreign currency can be assessed and move, especially in large amounts. Even though we had access to the full balance, it couldn't be withdrawn or transferred fast enough due to the long weekend holiday and legal limits. We explored multiple legal official avenues, but were ultimately constrained by the system. Whilst I have been a small promoter for many years, it has been quite some time since I did a show on a large scale, more so to this magnitude. In hindsight, I underestimated how challenging securing the Forex in a timely manner would be. Then the interviewer say, why did Sizzla Kalonji withdraw if he was already in the country? And Jacko say, we had every intention of fulfilling Sizzla's contract. However, following KARTEL's withdrawal, his team communicated that they now expected the same amount KARTEL was contracted for. They felt Sizzla should be considered the new headliner, which is understandable. Their reasoning was also solid, noting that KARTEL is on tracks and Sizzla has a full live band. But financially for us, this was simply not something we had planned for or agreed to. Whilst I believe Sizzla is worth any price he calls and value him as an esteemed reggae icon and countryman, knowing the financial debts we would be in given KARTEL's non-appearance, I could not in good conscience pay the new price just to have him save the day, knowing a significant portion of persons would be asking for refunds after the show. To be clear, we were prepared to pay Sizzla's balance as agreed. Unfortunately, there was a request for slightly more, and when we could not meet the new demand on such short notice, they opted to withdraw. That was their right, but it was not the original agreement. Following Sizzla's media press release statement citing a contractual breach, we have since reached out for clarification on the specific terms referenced. From our records, we were in active communication with his team and were prepared to settle the balance owed prior to performance. We respect the importance of professionalism in all business engagements and hope to resolve this matter amicably or at least have it accurately represented. Now, if what Jacko is saying about Sizzla is factual, do you think Sizzla not only have the right to renegotiate, but also demand the same figure that Vybz Kartel was being paid since he would now headline the festival? Or do you agree with Jacko that they already had an agreement that Sizzla should honor? Hit up the comments and share your thoughts. Anyway, so Sizzla has issued a press release of his own, basically calling the promoter a liar. Right there, Sizzla's statement with the subject, clarity of information for the One Caribbean Music Festival reads, Sizzla did not tell the promoter to pay what he paid the other artists that did not make it to close the show. That's a blatant lie. We simply said to the promoter in a meeting, when he still didn't offer to pay us the 50% of our original contractual amount, that he should pay us the 50% that he was going to pay the artist that was to headline the show and didn't appear and will headline the show. Despite our contract for 50% down payment, I had started the show with 10% down, which is not acceptable, all because of Trinidad, and you still don't give us the 50% owed to us even at my arrival at the hotel. Despite all what took place, I genuinely think the promoter and sponsors did a very good job. It's just that the headliner didn't appear. We sat in the hotel room waiting on the promoter to get back to us after the meeting, and he didn't. They left us standing there. So even if I was going to do the show without the other 50% owed to us, the promoter didn't get back to us the whole night. We waited and waited and nothing happened. I fell asleep. LOL. I'm still happy. I went to the studio and compiled my album with some very talented local acts. We are moving on. We love Trinidad. One Love Trinidad. Miguel Collins. Ah, boy. What do you think about Sizzla's statement? You feel like he must say the same thing as the promoter? Anyway, Sizzla is expected to perform in Trinidad this Saturday, June 7 for his One Love pop-up concert, and the admission is $250 to $300 TTD, which is approximately $36 to $44. So do you think if Sizzla is for the people like him say, should the One Love pop-up concert be a free event or business a business? Hit up the comments and share your thoughts. Anyway, so continuing the interview with Jacko, the interviewer asked, and the other international acts, they were also paid but did not perform? Right there you see Jacko say, aside from Chronic Law, none of the international acts performed, and yes, they all received deposits. Russian is excluded because he formed part of what would have been KARTEL's set. Malidon respectfully stayed away from the entire fiasco and quietly left thereafter. Molly's press release cited communication issues. Our team was in constant contact with her, and on arrival at the airport, we met her to bring her to the hotel. However, she declined and left in a separate vehicle that was already waiting. The next day, I was shown a video she posted captioned POV. When you're supposed to be performing at the One Caribbean Music Festival, but you're going to eat bacon shark at Maracas instead. For me, that was a huge disrespect to my Trinibagonian people. Though I am Jamaican by birth, I lived much of my life here. This situation is traumatic for all of us, and the video mocked that pain. The interviewer then asked, do you care to shed light on the payments made to other international acts? Was it also in US dollars? And then Jacko said, while I don't wish to publicly share the exact figures each artist was paid, I can confirm that all were paid in US dollars and received between 60% to 95% of their contractual funds. A few in the industry have since said the amount paid to Sizzla was disrespectful compared to KARTEL's fee. In our defense, we paid each artist what they negotiated. That should not be held against us. When the interviewer asked Jacko if there was poor planning on the part of Jacko Entertainment as the organizer of the festival, he said, I accept full responsibility for where we fell short. I had a vision to unite the region through music. I may not be the richest promoter, but I poured my heart, time, and creativity into this event. With support from investors, sponsors, and a strong team, we worked hard to create something special. That said, I acknowledge we didn't mitigate every risk, especially regarding Forex logistics and managing last-minute demands. And the question where everybody wants to know, will patrons be refunded? Jacko said, it is our sincere hope to issue full refunds, but the truth is we are in a very dark financial hole. To process refunds, we need full or partial reimbursements from the artists and agencies who were paid but did not perform. These were significant US dollar payments, and they are essential to do right by others. We have begun pursuing these discussions and hope for an amicable resolution. When the interviewer asked It's been 5 days since the show. Why has it taken you so long to speak? Jacko say, I am human. The level of betrayal, disappointment, and degradation I have felt cut deep. This was personal. KARTEL wasn't just a headliner. He was my brother. We have done several shows together. I had his back before, during, and after prison. To hear his comments about me, O'Dane Anderson, it was gut-wrenching. I was speechless. I've been racking my brain trying to understand how we got here, but now I can no longer wallow. My focus is on doing right by the people, and I hope he joins me in doing just that. Then the final question right there, the interviewer say, what's your message to fans, vendors, investors, service suppliers, and sponsors? And Jacko say, I am deeply sorry. I apologize to every single patron, vendor, investor, sponsor, and service provider who supported OCMF. Your support meant everything, and I feel like I let you down. To the fans, I know how badly you wanted to see KARTEL. So did I. And I fought hard to make it happen. To Sizzla, Malidon, and Molly, I ask for fairness. Let's settle this so the people don't continue to suffer. To my brother Adidja Palmer, let's talk. As countrymen, as friends, for the fans we both let down. Let's resolve this. Let's repay what's due. Let's rebuild. If not together, then at least with mutual respect for the fans that we both let down. Let's work to resolve this, repay what's due, and move forward as one Caribbean people. So big up to ET&T for that exclusive interview. You know, you can go and check out their Instagram page if you want to see more details. But personally, I really hope all parties can eventually resolve this amicably and find a way to compensate fans that were disappointed. So the information from the article we just reviewed is all according to Jacko, and he's the promoter of the One Caribbean Music Festival. Not sure if Vybz Kartel or Molly's team will respond to confirm or deny any of this. But if Jacko's claims are true and you hear him speak to the history of his friendship with KARTEL, his support before, during, and after his incarceration, do you feel like Jacko was treated fairly or betrayed, as he puts it? Or do you agree with KARTEL's decision to stand on business for breach of contract? Jacko also mentioned potential refund for patrons, so he's asking KARTEL, Sizzla, and the rest to do the right thing. But do you think any of the entertainers should have to return any of their booking fees, whether in full or partially, to facilitate the refund to patrons? Jump in the comments and share your thoughts. Make we talk about it. Now, CNC3 News is reporting that Jacko is fearful for his life. According to this article right here, it says the promoter of the flopped Adidja Vybz Kartel Palmer concert says he's now fearful for his life. O'Dane Anderson, who runs Jacko Entertainment, told Guardian Media he was now in trouble because he had to borrow money to fund the concert and is now finding difficulty in paying it back. So now federal prosecutors have taken over dancehall artist Squash's case in the U.S. According to this article by Nationwide, it says it's understood that Squash's arraignment was halted in the local courts when federal prosecutors stepped in and announced that they intend to take charge of the case. And we also understand that the charges of possession of a modified firearm and carrying a concealed weapon without a permit have been officially dropped. And in their place are two new charges. Now, in the comment section of that post, there are mixed reactions. Right there, this person say, Feds breeze blow different from big breeze. And this other one say, let's see how it plays out. And this person say, love badness too much. And then you see this other person say, unfortunately, this is not good. When the feds get involved, they have already created a solid case. Now, do you agree with that person that when the feds get involved, it's serious? Or you think there is still a gleam of hope for Squash? Hit up the comments and share your thoughts. From Vibes Cartel to now Bounty Killer, Chin from Irish and Chin is venting his frustration and concerns with Bounty's promotion of his upcoming concert at the Barclays Center, marking his return to New York City and his first US show in 15 years. Now, Chin is saying that Bounty Killer should have never advertised nobody else on him concert for July 5 and just make the former Alliance members like Movado and Idonia be a surprise. Check the levels.
The Warlord Bounty Killer is coming back to New York, Brooklyn, New York, for the first time in 15 years for the biggest concert of his career. Bounty Killer is going to lock down the Barclays in Brooklyn, New York. Now, those of you who know Killer's career know that Bounty Killer and Brooklyn is synonymous. There's no other artist that's synonymous with Brooklyn as much as Bounty Killer has been over the years. Now, here is my concern, right? Even though undoubtedly we know that Bounty is going to lock down the Barclays, right? Because he's in Brooklyn for the first time in 15 years, a lot of you fuckers are going to turn around and say that Bounty only locked down the place because he advertised other artists that was going to perform from the Alliance. And that is what I didn't want to happen. I wish that we could have seen a situation where Bounty was on the flyer by himself and all of the Alliance people, even though we knew they were going to show up anyway, were just coming out as a surprise. So Movado runs out as a surprise. If KARTEL comes, he runs out as a surprise. Busy, whoever, right? So Bounty can get his true glory. I know who you guys say. One of us said Bounty, 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 but then behind Killer's back, who never said, yo, the only reason why such and such run, is because, Bounty did have the whole of the artists, there are 6 and 7 artists, Bounty did up on one flyer. So that's the only thing that I'm concerned about. The way you guys will react and the way you guys will try to take away Killer's glory for ramming out the Barclays. But definitely, it is a highly anticipated event. We're glad to see Bounty Killer hit that stage. But again, I wish it was different.
But not everybody agrees with Chin. In the comment section of that post, Baby Sham say, no one cares about that. Unity is strength. Brooklyn, stand up. But do you agree with Chin though? Because in truth, as a mankind stay, they might always find something for chat about and probably say Bounty Killer did have to advertise Movado, Idonia and Massacre for help sell the show. Or do you agree with Sham say Unity at a pre? Hit up the comments and share your thoughts. Make we talk. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to turn on the notification bell to never miss a second or frame of Levels with me, Kshema. And if you have any burning questions or suggestions for future content, drop them in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Until next time, stay entertained and keep leveling up.